At first light, deep within Africa's forests, a young chimpanzee folds a handful of leaves into a rough sponge and dips it into a hollow filled with rainwater. This is not instinct. It is knowledge, passed down, imitated, refined. It is culture. For much of human history, we believed animals acted only on instinct. That culture, traditions, shared knowledge, and social rules was the defining line between us and them. But in the 1960s, Jane Goodall's quiet, patient observations at Gombe Stream shattered that belief. She saw wild chimpanzees stripping twigs to fish termites from their mounds. This was not simple tool use. It was evidence of learned practice, of a tradition handed down. The boundaries of culture had just expanded beyond humanity. Over the decades that followed, scientists began comparing chimpanzee communities across Africa. They noticed something extraordinary. Not all groups behaved the same. In the forests of West Africa, at Tai and Bossou, chimpanzees use heavy stones to crack open nuts on wooden or rock anvils. Some of these stone tools, battered and stained with nut residue, have been dated to over 4,000 years old, an unbroken technological tradition rivaling the longevity of early human practices. Meanwhile, in Central Africa's Gualugo Triangle, chimps have perfected tool sets. They fashion a stout stick to puncture a termite mound, then switch to a carefully prepared probe with a frayed, brush-like tip to fish out insects. The brush dramatically increases harvest efficiency, and it is crafted with deliberate care. This is not improvisation. It is engineering. Other traditions appear in unexpected places. At Budongo Forest in Uganda, chimpanzees were seen using moss as sponges to collect water. Within days, the new behavior spread through the community, copied most often by individuals who had watched it firsthand. This was culture in real time, a new tradition cascading through social networks, passed not by genes but by observation. Even seemingly simple acts, like the way chimps sit while termite fishing or the way they rest their wrists on the ground, vary between neighboring communities. Tiny details but markers of group identity, as subtle and distinct as human dialects. Hunting strategies reveal another layer of cultural complexity. At Ngogo in Uganda, chimpanzees organize massive hunting parties to pursue red colobus monkeys, with success rates far higher than most other sites. In contrast, the Thai forest chimpanzees of Côte d'Ivoire exhibit something closer to choreography. During hunts, some males specialize as drivers, flushing prey, others block escape routes, still others ambush. The coordination suggests learned roles passed on through practice. Two chimpanzee populations facing the same prey, yet hunting with radically different traditions. But how do these behaviors persist? Young chimpanzees spend years shadowing their mothers, clumsily attempting to copy her movements. In Gualugo, mothers have been observed deliberately handing their offspring high-quality tools, even though doing so costs them feeding time. This is teaching in its purest form, an experienced individual sacrificing efficiency to ensure a learner gains the skill. Developmental studies show that while chimps can fish termites by age 3, mastering the complex sequence of tool preparation and use takes much longer, sometimes into adolescence. Culture, like in humans, requires patience, apprenticeship, and guidance. Social hierarchies add another layer to cultural transmission. Chimps do not copy everyone equally. They are far more likely to imitate high-ranking or successful individuals. A dominant male's new technique can sweep through a group, while a low-ranking innovator may be ignored. At the same time, chimpanzees are flexible. If one method proves more efficient, they will abandon the old and adopt the new. Their traditions are neither rigid nor random. They are shaped by prestige, charisma, and payoff. Yet culture is not always gentle. Distinct traditions often map onto group boundaries. Chimpanzees patrol their territories, and encounters with neighboring communities can turn violent. Intergroup raids, sometimes lethal, expand territory and secure resources. Culture here is not just a reflection of intelligence, it is interwoven with conflict and survival. Human activity now threatens to erase these cultural lineages. Deforestation, mining, and roads fragment habitats, isolating communities. A continent-wide study revealed that in areas with intense human impact, the diversity of chimpanzee behaviors drops by nearly 90%. When a community disappears, it is not just lives that are lost, but entire archives of knowledge, unique ways of cracking nuts, of fishing termites, of crafting sponges, extinguished forever. Conservation biologists now argue that protecting chimpanzees means more than preserving their genes. It means preserving their traditions, their intangible heritage, their cultures. And still, so much remains unknown. How often do chimpanzees invent new behaviors, and under what conditions do these innovations spread? Why do some communities develop tool sets of remarkable complexity while others do not? What role do social networks play in accelerating or stalling the adoption of a new practice? Remote forests, long-term studies, and modern technology are beginning to answer these questions, revealing a cultural landscape as rich and varied as our own. The implications reach far beyond the forests. Chimpanzee cultures remind us that tradition and intelligence are not uniquely human. They force us to rethink the boundaries of culture itself. Each community is a library. Every tool is a page. Every behavior a note left for the next generation. If we destroy their habitats, we do not just silence their calls. We burn the books, erasing histories millions of years in the making. Chimpanzees hold up a mirror to our past, showing that culture is not an invention of humanity, but a shared inheritance of life. To protect them is to protect those hidden cultures, and to recognize that intelligence, creativity, and tradition are threads woven throughout the living world.